Hello everyone, welcome to Smart Investing. This is an incredible moment in the market. We are seeing the market being extremely bullish since the low of April. You see the market has been from the very low of April to today reaching all-time high, and since today and yesterday we are even breaking the all-time high, and this is quite an incredible moment. But also I congratulate everybody who actually follow my advice not to sell the shares and the holdings when the bear market, or actually the naysayers and all the doom and gloomers, were trying to force you to sell the shares to them at 25% discount or 30% discount or even more in some occasions. So you actually, I hope, learned a very important lesson that it's true that you have some bear market, you have some collapse in the market, but since the year 2000, we have seen that the collapse in the market is very short-lived and that the V-shaped recovery is always warranted. And we know that when the VIX is reaching 50 or go above 50, the market is signaling a bottom. And if you buy at this very time, at this very moment that the VIX is above 50, you know that you will be in for a very nice treat over the coming months. And you see that this is exactly what happened. You are seeing an incredible market. You know, you have actually, if you invested since the low of April, you've made probably more than 30%, 40%, 50%, and sometimes you double your investment depending on where you are investing in the low of April. I will show you some example. But what is important also to notice is that the market is extremely bullish despite all the noises that you see in the market, like the war in Iran with Israel, the bombing of Iran by the United States, all the uncertainty towards inflation and towards rate cut or no rate cut with the Federal Reserve, and all the noise about replacing Jerome Powell again. You see all the noise that actually warranted a collapse back in March or February, March to the low of April. Today it doesn't seem to matter. So you can see that when the narrative flip, the market doesn't care what you are throwing at them. They don't care at all. They're just going up and up and up and up, because it seems like the market overall is extremely bullish on AI, extremely bullish on this revolution, and whatever the negative sentiment or negative narrative you're seeing on the headlines, they don't seem to care. You know, they are just thinking this is it. You know, we are in a new paradigm, new type of revolution. And this AI revolution will actually transform everything that we have been doing so far, you know. The industrial revolution has replaced the arms and legs and the muscle, you know, of men. And that's actually bring the revolution of the feminism and women in the workplace and everything like that. Now we are seeing the replacement of the brain. You know, AI will replace brain in the marketplace. So no, we don't need muscle, we don't need brain. So what we're going to need, you know? And this is what exactly people need to understand. You know, if you replace brain and AI is replacing brain, that's exactly what it is doing. It's not replacing muscle. So what we're going to do, you know, then there is a lot of question marks. But for those who invest in this new technology, they are going to make a lot of money. And I intend to be the one who's going to be making a lot of money, because, hey, you know, if they replace my brain, at least I can make a lot of money out of it, you know. That's what actually I'm telling myself, you know. So those who are not investing in AI or technology or whatever in the market, they are going to be the big losers, you know, because they will not take advantage of this incredible investment opportunity over the next 5, 10 years or 15 years even. And they are going to lose their job. So, you know, they are going to make their job like commodities. They will not compete. So, you know, that's why you need to invest. You know, you need to invest, and you need to invest right now. You know, you cannot wait anymore. So let's have a look at the market and the charts. You can see the QQQ. We are definitely breaking out the all-time highs of 540. Now we are about 548. Clear breakout. We are the highest band of the Bollinger Bands, of course. That's a bit worrisome, because it means that the market should or could pull back to at least the medium of the Bollinger Band is 526, but it doesn't have to, you know. It doesn't have to. What is also worrisome is that we are close to the higher band of the RSI, showing a clear 70 marks, which shows that we are quite overbought at the moment in the market. So then we should have some pullback, but again, this is not a must, you know. Normally it should have a pullback, but it's not showing any sign of pullback. So you have to enjoy the trend while the trend is in your favor, you know. That's what the market is about, you know. You have to follow the trend. You can see that you had a very big gap up. Normally we should go back and fill the gap before going to all-time highs, but we didn't do it this time, you know. We didn't even test the all-time high. We trace a bit and then break out. We actually just test it and then break out immediately, which shows the bullishness of the market, you know, at least for technological company. Let's look now at SPY, S&P 500, same story, you know. We are reaching all-time high, and technically we have broke out from all-time high, you know, because all-time high was 613. Now we are clearly above 613. We are technically 615. So we are actually breaking out, and the RSI is also at the level of 70, which shows that we are also overbought. But never mind, you know, the market is extremely bullish, and it doesn't care about anything at all happening in the economy or anything at all happening at the geopolitical level. So you have to respect the fact that the market is bullish. You cannot fight the trend in the market. So let's see now the Max 7. Max 7, you can see also extremely bullish, but haven't reached yet the all-time high of 58. So that's probably the only group of stock that have actually witnessed a tremendous upside from the low of April. I mean, you would make a lot of money if you invested in the low of April like me. You know, you would make, like today, you're only on Max 7 close to 40%, you know, but we have not reached yet the all-time high. Of course, Max 7 retrace a lot more than the QQQ and the SPY. That's why it takes maybe a bit more time to reach all-time high from the group of Max 7. But you see, Nvidia is breaking out. Is it a fake breakout or not? We don't know. We're going to see in the next coming days, but definitely Nvidia is breaking out. Apple is showing a lot of weakness. You see, Apple is still very close to the lows of April, and that's really one of the only Max 7 that doesn't see a lot of rebound on the chart. Amazon is not reaching all-time high yet. Google not reaching all-time high, very far from all-time high, you know, actually. You have actually a bit of recovery from the low of April, but we don't reach the all-time high, far from it, you know, because all-time high is around 207. We are at 175. Meta clearly reaching all-time high. Very bullish stock. Meta is a V-shaped recovery, quite a tremendous V-shaped recovery. Tesla also had a very tremendous recovery from the low of April, but not reaching all-time high. I'll remind you that all-time high is around 490. What is also important to see is the VIX. VIX is reaching almost the lows. The low of 2025, the year of 2025, but also the year of 2024. I mean, we are going to touch the lower band of the Bollinger Bands, which will be around 16. And that's good news for the market, but the market is going up and up and up, and the volatility is going down and down and down, which is a very good scenario for the rally to continue. The only downside we are seeing is that the TLT is still at the very lowest level of since the very low of 2024, and then actually we have to go back far in history to see this kind of level for the long-term bonds, you know. We have to go back to 2007 and 2006. That's an historic moment, you know, and we don't have any indication that Jerome Powell is going to decrease rate or is going to decrease aggressively rate. And we have all the noise about Donald Trump trying to replace Jerome Powell on the Fed, and it might be happening, but the market this time doesn't seem to care about all this noise of replacing Jerome Powell. You see, before they did care about all this noise and talks about replacing Jerome Powell, but today they don't seem to care, you know. So you have to go with what is happening in the market, not anything else, you know. IWM is showing a bit of signs of recovery. Now it's reaching the 200 moving average, and it wants to break out the 200 moving average. I tell you, if they break out the 200 moving average and confirm that, we will go back to this ascending channel that we have been broken in the low of April, and it probably that IWM will also go to all-time high, but we are far from all-time high for IWM. And I think as soon as the Fed is going to announce to cut rate, I think IWM will see a rally in its index. Some of the key shares that you see, AMD double from the lows of April. So lows of April was around 80. Now we are about 144, so it's close to 100% or at least 80% upside. You have seen Coinbase also huge increase from the lows of 141 to 348, more than double, you know, since the low of April. I mean, Palantir still continue to break out. Less momentum for Palantir, but still amazing rally from the low of April. SMCI, you can see, recovered from the low of April, actually more than double from the low of April, but still at low level compared to the historic collapse that we've seen in the stock price of 120 was the all-time high. We're very far from 120. Otherwise, Bitcoin wants to recover to 106,000 today. The dollar is continuing to decrease and the euro to appreciate, which is a bit of an anomaly to me in the market, considering the difference in interest rate between the euro and the dollar. But hey, this is what the market is doing, so we need to go with what the market is doing. Other than that, the market is extremely bullish, so don't fight the market, just follow the market. You have to be cautious also on the sizing and the positioning you're taking in the market. Don't put your leverage yet. Don't get too excited also, because it could be that the market will correct in August and September like we have seen the last few years. But you know, at the moment right now, there is no sign that the market is going to stop rallying. So again, enjoy this moment, enjoy this momentum until the narrative breakout and the market again start to worry about tariffs, about inflation, about interest rate, about all of this, because this will come back. This will come back. So don't be too excited or rational exuberance. Enjoy the rally, enjoy the momentum, but be careful. You know, what I've done myself is that I've increased my position in the QQQ Max 7 into AMD. I roll out all my call position that I had against this position, and I saw new call position a bit higher, you know, but I still have a lot of covered call position to, in case the market retrace back aggressively, you know, because it could happen. We have seen that in 2024, we've seen that in 2023, so it could happen again in 2025. It doesn't mean the market will be bearish or overly bearish, but it will retrace back by 10-15%. It's possible, you know. So we still have another 6 months until the end of the year. So we have to realize that it's not going to be a straight up during the next 6 months. And valuations are still reaching now FT level that we have discussed back in February. You know, everybody was saying, yeah, this is very expensive, this is this and that. You know, this is again the same level. So markets are very expensive right now. It doesn't mean that it will not become more expensive. It will not mean that PE will expand. It doesn't mean anything, because if rates start to decrease, PE expansion is warranted, because when rate decrease, this is very bullish for the market, very bullish for tech, and very bullish for small cap stock. So thanks so much for watching, and take care of yourself. Be careful, enjoy the market, and this is an incredible time to be an investor right now. We're going to make a lot of money over the next 5 years, 10 years, and you know, just enjoy it. Take care. Subscribe, like, and leave your comment to help me grow this channel. Bye.